Hello and welcome to another episode of the CUFI Weekly. And in a week where the Jewish world was set to celebrate Hanukkah, the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem, they are again mourning. So many times Jewish joy is intermingled with tragedy, and once again that is the case this year. In Australia, in Bondi Beach, what was supposed to be a family celebration for Hanukkah turned into a bloodbath with a horrific terror attack. At least 15 people were murdered and many others injured. Now, while this is disgusting, horrific, abhorrent, all of those words, it is sadly not surprising. Over the last few years, we have seen the rhetoric, the hatred, the antisemitism running rampant in conversation, on podcasts, on social media, in everyday conversation. Conspiracy theories added to by talking heads have created an environment where the dehumanization of Jews, which eventually leads to murder, has become commonplace. My dear friend, the late Irving Roth, who was a Holocaust survivor, would always say that the Holocaust did not start in the gas chambers. It started with words that were repeated by individuals, it became a philosophy, and that led to the murder of 6 million Jews. In California, somebody drove by a house which had Hanukkah decorations and fired 20 plus shots and shouted out racial slurs. In LA, a bomb plot was discovered by a pro-Palestinian group who planned to set off bombs on New Year's Eve. What should be a truly joyous season for Christians with Christmas on the horizon, for Jews celebrating Hanukkah. Instead, we are living under the shadow of Jews being murdered and terror plots in our cities. This is where the words lead. Silence in the face of evil is evil itself, and we cannot be silent. Reach out to your Jewish friends, reach out to your Jewish neighbors, reach out to your local Jewish community. Let them know that they are not alone. Let them know that you see them and you are here to stand with them, side by side. Because they are a tiny, tiny population, and they are not allowed to grieve, they are not allowed to suffer without accusatory fingers being pointed at them. On October 8th, people celebrated as Jews were murdered in Israel, in the United States. People then blamed Israel for killing people on October 7th. We have a world where Hamas will put out a tweet blaming Israel for attacking a hospital, and it will spread like wildfire. Everyone will believe it. Everyone will take it at face value. But we live in a world that when Jews are murdered, like they were in Australia just days ago, social media will be abuzz about how this was Mossad, how this was a false flag operation, how this was all a conspiracy. That is the level of hatred there is towards the Jews. And that is also the level of brain rot in anti-Semites, where logic, truth, what they see with their own eyes does not matter because they hate Jews more. And that is why we can't be silent. That is why we must fight this cancer. And this is why we must show our Jewish brothers and sisters, our Jewish neighbors, the Jewish community that you've never engaged with, that they are not alone. Just as they light their Hanukkah candles, a light in the darkness, that we will not allow the darkness to envelop them. We will not stand idly by in that darkness. We'll also light a candle of truth, of solidarity, and friendship. That is my challenge to you in 2026. That is my challenge to you today. And that is my challenge to every single American, that we don't forget the promises of this nation to all its citizens. From me and everyone at CUFI, wishing you all a very happy Hanukkah, very Merry Christmas, and a very Happy New Year. We will see you in 2026. Thank you so much for all of your support of CUFI, of the CUFI Weekly, and for everything you do to ensure that the Jewish people know they're not alone, and to ensure that the US-Israel relationship remains strong and steadfast. This is Kasim Hafiz with the CUFI Weekly. For Zion's sake, do not remain silent.
Thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe so you get a notification every time a new episode hits. And if you want to check out some of our previous episodes, and we've got some really good ones, click on one of the thumbnails and that will take you right there. And finally, if you want to know more about CUFI and the work we do, go to CUFI.org to check out all the resources we have available free to you.